Dear Leo, what if I told you that the thing you stopped expecting is now on its way and it's bigger than you ever imagined? That the very moment you let go is the moment the universe chose to reward you? Today's message is not about hope, it's about arrival. A financial breakthrough is coming, and you didn't have to force it. You simply had to be ready. And if you're here, right now, watching this video on July 7th, that's no coincidence. You're not just watching a horoscope, you're stepping into alignment with something cosmic, something destined. Let me be clear, this isn't a vague prediction. It's a confirmation. The energy around you is shifting, Leo, and what's coming is not a warning, it's a blessing. A money miracle is being delivered to you, and it carries more than just material gain. It's a symbol that you are seen. You are remembered. You are finally being rewarded for the silent battles you fought alone. And yet I know what you might be thinking. Why now? Why me? Because you finally stopped chasing. Because you finally trusted. Because the universe doesn't operate on our clocks, it responds to our vibration. So if you've been feeling tired, uncertain, or even a little numb lately, this is your awakening. Today, something unexpected, something deeply personal is making its way toward you. It may be a payment long overdue. A bonus you thought fell through. A gift you never imagined someone would give. Whatever form it takes, know this, it's not random. It's sacred. Leo, your heart has been so strong. You've given so much. And now it's your time to receive. But before we go deeper into what this money miracle truly means for you, your path, your relationships, your energy, I want to pause for a moment and say something important. I want to thank you. Truly. From the bottom of my heart. Every like you leave, every comment you share, every subscription you offer, it's not just a gesture. It's a bridge between us. You help keep the spirit of this channel alive, and your support allows eternal mindfulness to continue offering these transformational messages to souls like yours across the world. And Leo, believe me, you're going to want to stay until the very end of this video. What the universe is about to reveal could change how you see your past, your value, and your next chapter forever. Now let me ask you, what made you click on this video today? What is your soul trying to show you? Was it the title? Was it a gut feeling? Or was it something deeper? Drop a comment right now and affirm it. I am ready to receive my money miracle today. Say it aloud if you can. There is power in claiming your truth. So stay with me, Leo. Let's take the next few minutes to explore not just what's coming but why it's coming now, and why it's coming to you. Leo, when the tears come today, they don't come from sorrow. They come from the part of your heart that has waited in silence for far too long to be seen, to be acknowledged, not for drama, not for attention, but for the quiet ways you've shown up for others without asking anything in return. Today's tears are different. They carry release. They carry grace. They carry a deep inner knowing that what you've poured out in love, in effort, in unshaken integrity is finally finding its way back to you. This moment holds the energy of return. The return of fairness. The return of value. The return of the self. You've likely walked through days, maybe even years, where your giving went unnoticed. Where your care felt invisible. And while you never gave to be rewarded, something inside you began to wonder, does the universe even remember? Today is your answer. It does. It always did. It was simply waiting for the energy of receptivity to rise within you, and now, it has. The presence of the Empress and the Six of Pentacles in today's reading speaks volumes. The Empress is the embodiment of nurturing abundance, not forced wealth, but the kind that grows gently through compassion, intuition, and care. She is the mother of all things that flourish, and her appearance here reminds you that what you planted in the past with your heart, not your hands, is finally blooming. The Six of Pentacles brings the sacred balance of giving and receiving. It whispers that the time of imbalance is over. You've given enough. Now, it is your time to receive, not just materially, but emotionally and energetically. There's an old truth that says the most generous hearts often struggle to receive. Not because they're unworthy, but because they've grown accustomed to pouring into others while neglecting themselves. Leo, today you're being asked to shift that pattern. Not to stop giving, that will always be your nature, but to learn that allowing yourself to receive is a form of sacred balance, not selfishness. There is strength in being open. There is healing in saying, "Yes, I accept this gift." Even if it surprises you. Even if it feels too good to be true. Imagine this moment as a still lake that you've poured into for years. Drop by drop, tear by tear, effort by effort. And now, a single ripple forms, not from your doing, but from the lake itself, reflecting back your love, amplified. This is karma in motion, not as punishment or reward, but as completion, the cycle coming full circle. What you thought was lost, forgotten, or dismissed is returning, not out of pity, but out of divine timing. What if the money you receive today isn't just a transfer in your bank account, but a transfer of recognition from the universe? What if it's a sign that your inner worth has finally created a matching outer reality? Whether it's a refund, a gift, a long overdue payment, or a spontaneous gesture from someone who suddenly remembers what you meant to them, honor it. Not because it defines your value, but because it confirms it. Today, take a quiet moment. Write down 3 things you once gave with no expectation of return, and notice what life brings back to you. Not everything will come in the form you expect. Sometimes the repayment comes in peace. Sometimes in laughter. Sometimes in clarity. But something is on its way. And you, Leo, are finally ready to receive not just what's owed, but what your soul always knew was meant for you. Let this be the day you open both hands and say, without guilt or resistance, "I receive." Leo, the good news arriving today is not a lucky accident. It may seem like it came out of nowhere, like the universe just spun a wheel and it landed in your favor, but if you look closely, you'll realize this is no random stroke of fortune. This is resonance. This is the reflection of everything you've aligned with quietly over time. Every decision you made that no one noticed. Every small moment of integrity you chose when it would have been easier not to. The gift that comes now is not a surprise, it is a response. The energy of the number 7, and its double form 77, speaks of alignment with a higher frequency. It symbolizes awakening, not as a dramatic event but as a subtle unfolding. Like the way a lotus doesn't rush to bloom, it waits for the right season, for the warmth to be just enough, for the water to be still. You, too, have been growing beneath the surface, shedding layers of fear, doubt, and hesitation. And now, what blossoms is not just external reward, but the internal evidence that you've shifted. That your vibration is no longer built on effort alone, but on clarity, intention, and grace. This is why you receive now, not because of luck, but because your energy is finally a match for what you once only hoped for. When the inner world aligns, the outer world follows. It's not always immediate. In fact, the delay is often the teaching. There's wisdom in not receiving something too soon. Just like fruit that ripens before it's ready will fall too early, some blessings must wait for your inner soil to be prepared to hold them. Today's gift is not premature. It's perfectly timed. What you do with this financial blessing matters. Not in the way society tells you, not in the pressure to invest or save or prove your worth through wealth, but in how you honor what it symbolizes. If it feels like an unexpected deposit, a bonus, a refund, or a gesture from someone you once helped, pause. Breathe. Place your hands over your heart. This is not just money. This is acknowledgement. This is life whispering back to you, I saw you. I didn't forget. When you divide this gift, one part for today, one part for your future, and one part to share, you are participating in a sacred cycle. Not a transaction, but a continuation. You are choosing not to hoard, not to cling, but to circulate. Because what flows, grows. This is the law of the living universe. Everything moves in circles. What you give will return. What you hold with love will multiply. And what you release with gratitude will come back to you in forms you couldn't imagine. Perhaps the deepest practice today is not even in how you spend the money, but in how you receive it. With humility. With grace. With a quiet thank you, even if it's spoken only in the silence of your breath. Gratitude is not performance, it's presence. It's the awareness that this moment was shaped not just by effort, but by alignment. Not just by work, but by the energy you've tended in your thoughts, your choices, your heart. So ask yourself gently, could this be the confirmation I've been waiting for? Could this be the moment that tells me I've been walking the right path all along, even when it felt uncertain? If your answer is yes, then let that awareness settle in you. Let it soften your doubt and strengthen your trust. You didn't get here by chance. You got here by becoming who you truly are. And what comes next will be shaped by how fully you allow yourself to believe that. When joy arrives, it doesn't come to stay locked inside the heart. Joy is movement. It wants to ripple, to echo, to spread itself into the spaces between people. And Leo, your heart has always held so much, yet often, you carry it alone. There's a part of you that has grown used to shining for others without asking anyone to witness what you're holding. But today, you are being invited to open that sacred door and let someone in, not because you're weak, but because light, when shared, becomes a beacon. The radiance in your life becomes more vibrant the moment you allow others to feel it with you. The cards for today, the Sun and the Knight of Cups, tell a simple yet profound story. The Sun represents warmth, openness, and clarity. It shines not because it wants anything in return, but because shining is its nature. You are the same. But paired with the Knight of Cups, we are reminded that love, no matter how bright, must move. It must be expressed. Love that stays trapped inside the chest begins to ache, not because it lacks meaning, but because it lacks air. It longs to breathe, to be spoken, to be heard. There is a powerful teaching here that true connection begins with vulnerability. When you share your happiness with someone you trust, you're not just spreading good news. You're creating an energetic bridge, one that strengthens not only the bond but the blessing itself. In a way, it is like watering a plant. The more you nourish your relationships with your truth, your gratitude, your small joys, your real emotions, the more rooted and vibrant those connections become. Sharing isn't about being grand or dramatic. It can be as gentle as telling a friend, "I feel grateful today," or as simple as inviting someone to join you for tea, not to impress them, but to include them in your light. In moments of joy, especially after long seasons of struggle, the habit of guarding the heart can be strong. You might think, if I speak of this happiness, will it disappear? But happiness isn't a fragile thing. It grows when honored. And sharing it isn't bragging, it's affirming. It's saying to the world, this moment matters, and I want to remember it with someone. Sometimes, the act of sharing a win is what finally makes it real. It's like watching the sun rise alone versus witnessing it with someone by your side. The beauty is there either way, but when it's seen together, it becomes unforgettable. This is a chance to turn joy into something communal, something more than a fleeting moment. Whether it's your partner, a close friend, or even a family member you've drifted from, today is an opening. Extend a hand. Speak from the heart. Not because you need validation, but because you deserve to be met where you are. And sometimes, people around you are just waiting for a sign that you're ready to connect again. Like a candle lighting another candle, your flame does not dim by sharing it. In fact, it burns more steadily. Today is a gentle call to move from solitary joy to shared celebration. To remember that even in a world full of noise, the quiet moment of saying, "I'm happy, and I want to share this with you," is a kind of prayer and offering to life itself. So say the words, Leo. Even if your voice trembles. Let someone see what your heart holds. Joy is not meant to be hidden. It is meant to be lived, and when it is shared, it multiplies in ways you may not yet understand. Even as joy begins to rise and blessings flow into your life, the body remains the vessel through which all energy moves, and it deserves as much care as the emotions we celebrate. When we receive good news or feel elevated by a financial or emotional shift, our spirit often soars ahead, but the body lags just behind, waiting for permission to catch up. That's why, today, Leo, even as the universe offers you expansion and reward, you're being gently reminded to tend to the physical form that carries your light. The alignment between energy and embodiment is not a luxury, it is essential. Without grounding, even the most uplifting experiences can leave us feeling unbalanced or overstimulated. Imagine trying to pour light into a cracked vessel. Without presence and care, the energy leaks. And so, today is an invitation to slow down, to gently allow your nervous system to register this joy, this shift, and to let the body receive it just as fully as the mind does. Color carries its own vibration, and the hues that support you now, radiant orange and deep emerald, are not random. Orange is the color of life force in motion, the warmth of vitality, and the spark of creative will. It ignites the solar center, connecting you to your personal power, your gut instincts, and your momentum. Green, especially in its lush, rich tones, speaks directly to the heart space, to peace, to gratitude, and to balance. These aren't just visual cues, but energetic allies. Wearing them, surrounding yourself with them, or even visualizing their warmth moving through your breath can align your inner rhythm with the harmony that life is offering you now. One of the most effective ways to anchor high vibrational states into the body is through simple, embodied rituals. A 10-minute walk under the morning sun may seem small, but its effect is profound. As light enters your skin, your cells respond. You affirm, without words, I am alive. I am safe to receive. Each step becomes an act of grounding, of gently telling your system, this joy is real. This abundance is mine. It is a conversation between the body and the invisible, a way of letting energy root into something lasting. Likewise, the way you nourish yourself today matters more than usual. Eating slowly, mindfully, and with reverence is not just about digestion, it is about presence. Each bite can be seen as a blessing, a quiet honoring of the path you've walked to arrive at this place. In many wisdom traditions, food is a sacred offering not only in how we prepare it, but in how we receive it. To chew slowly, to breathe between bites, to taste fully, is to say to life, I am not rushing through this. I am here for it, fully. The truth is, when energy elevates, the body requires more gentleness, not less. When the spirit is dancing, the body must not be left behind. We bring our light down into our bones, our breath, our posture, and in doing so, we become steady enough to hold all that is coming. Today, remember that even joy can be tiring if it's not integrated. So pause. Hydrate. Touch your heart and thank it for beating. Feel your feet and thank them for holding you. Whisper to your body, you are my home, and I will care for you like the sacred temple you are. In this moment of abundance, may your affirmation be soft yet certain. My body is a flowing current of light and prosperity. And may that truth live not only in your mind but in your breath, your heartbeat, and the quiet space where presence becomes power. Not every gift arrives to be spent, used, or even celebrated immediately. Some arrive as a signal, a quiet knock on the door from life itself, whispering that a new season is beginning. Today's financial shift, no matter how large or small it appears on the surface, carries the energy of that first spark, the one that doesn't create the fire alone, but tells you where to place the wood, where to sit close, and where to begin tending what's coming. This is not just a payout. It's a pattern starting to emerge. A rhythm. The earliest echo of abundance that, when nurtured, becomes something far greater than a single event. When the wheel of fortune appears in alignment with the King of Pentacles, it is not asking you to get excited, it is asking you to get grounded. The wheel turns, yes, but it turns for those who are centered enough not to chase it. The king doesn't run toward wealth. He knows his own presence attracts what is stable and lasting. His throne rests not on desire, but on discipline. On inner clarity. On trust that what begins as a seed can, with care, become a harvest. So rather than seeing this as a lucky break, see it as a doorway. And before rushing through, ask yourself, who am I becoming as I step into this next chapter? The truth is, most people miss the beginning of a cycle because they expect something grand. A bang. A dramatic shift. But real transformation often begins in a whisper. It begins with a subtle alignment of inner belief and outer opportunity. It begins when you say, I don't have to grasp anymore. I can receive and respond with steadiness. This is your moment to plant with awareness, to take what's been given and decide what it will become. Will it be spent impulsively, or invested with intention? Will it be hidden out of fear, or shared as a gesture of trust in life's flow? One simple practice to begin anchoring this new cycle is to write down 7 areas of your life that this financial gift could help support. Not just material needs, but meaningful ones: your health, your peace of mind, your sense of purpose, your education, your ability to give, your relationships, your rest. When you write these down, you're not creating a budget. You're setting a direction. You're telling life, this is what I care about. This is where I want to grow. And then, ask yourself something even deeper. If I am now the steward of this blessing, not just the recipient, how will I honor it? What seed can I plant from this gift, however small, that will outlive the money itself? Because true wealth doesn't come from having. It comes from using wisely. From knowing that every resource you touch becomes more valuable when it flows through your hands with intention. There is a quiet teaching that says, when you are given something early, it is not to indulge, it is to learn how to handle more. To show that your hands are steady. That your choices are clear. That your heart is ready not just to enjoy abundance, but to multiply it through wisdom. Today's gift, then, is not the prize, it's the first invitation. And if you greet it with humility, clarity, and vision, the next wave will not be long behind. Let this be the moment where you no longer ask, is this all? But instead say, how can I build from here? Because this is not a one-time miracle. It's the beginning of your cycle of rising. The kind that isn't rushed, isn't borrowed but built, choice by choice, breath by breath. If you're still here with me, Leo, it's not by chance, and deep down, I think you know that. Something greater has been guiding you toward this moment, and even if your mind tries to make sense of it, your heart already recognizes the truth. What you've received today is not just information. It's a mirror. It reflects your growth, your alignment, and your quiet courage. This is not just a lucky day. This is the result of everything you've been nurturing when no one was watching: the small, honest choices, the moments you showed up for others, the strength it took to believe in something even when it wasn't visible yet. The blessing that arrives now is not an ending, but a beginning. And beginnings require more than excitement, they require presence. So take a moment to breathe in everything you've heard. Let it settle not only in your thoughts but in your body. Let it remind you that nothing is random, and that when you vibrate in truth, life responds. Always. You don't have to force your light to shine, Leo. You don't have to prove anything anymore. The universe isn't looking for perfection, it's responding to authenticity. And your willingness to be open, to feel deeply, to act with clarity even when the path was foggy, that's what brought this breakthrough to your doorstep. So now the question becomes, what will you do with it? Will you use this momentum to nourish your dreams? Will you pour some of it back into the lives of those who walk beside you? Will you dare to believe that this is just the first step in something bigger, something more sustainable, more soul-aligned than anything before? I invite you to pause and ask yourself, what am I ready to build, now that I know I am supported? Who am I ready to become, now that I've remembered my worth? And perhaps most importantly, how will I treat myself differently, now that I see what I truly deserve? If this message has touched you, even in a small way, I ask you to affirm it not just in thought, but in action. Drop a comment below and say, I receive this with an open heart today. Let your energy ripple out into the space we're creating here together. Because this isn't just a video. This is a gathering of souls, a sacred moment in time where we remember that transformation is real, and that it always begins from within. I also want to take a moment to say thank you truly for being here. For every like, every comment, every subscription you choose to give, you're not just helping a channel. You're becoming part of the Eternal Mindfulness family, and your presence is the reason we're able to continue sharing these soul-nourishing messages with the world. So if you haven't already, please take a second to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell, not just so you don't miss a future message, but so we can keep growing this beautiful circle of light together. Leo, you are not just lucky. You are magnetic. You are calling in everything you were once afraid to ask for. And now that it's here, receive it, celebrate it, and let it remind you, the best is no longer ahead of you. It has already begun.